Welcome back. We are doing a grocery haul to start with this week, and you might hear some background noise because my daughter is running around acting a fool today. So this is just our life. But we went to Costco and got a lot of stuff we needed. I didn't organize it any type of way, so I'm just gonna go through. We got mozzarella. Normally I get these at Sam's Club because they're a little bit smaller, but I didn't feel like making 2 trips this week, and we like to use mozzarella cheese. I got a rotisserie chicken. We're gonna eat this for lunch, and we'll eat it throughout the week. We like to put it on sandwiches and in stuff, and then I like to keep all the bones and extra pieces, and I keep it to make a chicken broth, and then I make some kind of soup with it later in the week. My daughter's laying on the floor eating an apple. It was just too quiet. This is the seasoned tri-tip. If you have not ever had this, it is amazing. All I do is cube it, and then I cook it in the Instant Pot for like 25 minutes on high pressure. So good with rice and veggies. It would be really good in some kind of stew. Maybe that's what I'll do with the chicken pieces, is just make it into some kind of stew or something, because this stuff is the bomb. And then got Greek yogurt. I'm really enjoying doing easy Greek yogurt style dessert type things at nighttime. It really cures the sweet tooth. Low in fat, high in protein. And that's kind of what I'm going for right now. We got lots of fruit. So got a pineapple, 2 containers of blackberries. The Sweet Caroline are my daughter's absolute favorite. She eats blackberries like nobody's business. These will probably be gone tomorrow, if not today. And then we got some strawberries. We got a bag of avocados. We got some Baby Bell cheese. Normally I like the string cheese, but my daughter's really enjoying eating these. Plus it's a little bit easier for her. We got cage-free egg whites. I am not against egg yolks. I just like to add these for a little extra volume. Instead of doing 3 eggs, I like to do 2 and some egg whites. Makes it a little bit lighter, and that's just kind of what I like. Plus it's good for omelets. And in addition to that, we got 3 2-dozen eggs. So we have 6 dozen eggs. They were out of the 5 dozen that normally comes in at Costco. We go through eggs probably more than anything else in this house, and it's not just us, it's my husband, sister, and our roommate, and we go through lots of eggs here. And then we got 2 bunches of bananas. So I've never had these before, but I wanted some Bear Bells. They don't sell them at Costco. And so we're gonna try these. It is plant-based protein, which I actually like in bars. I don't do protein bars as a meal replacement. I do protein bars as something sweet that's not a candy bar. So this one is almond butter chip, peanut butter chip, and chocolate sea salt. So we'll see how these taste. It's 12 grams of protein in each one, so I thought maybe just something good for something sweet. I got these organic smoothie melts. My daughter will eat them. She would survive off these if she could. I don't buy them super often anymore, but they have this new flavor, and they're individual packages, which are nice for when you have a little toddler. You can just throw them in your bag. She ate 2 bags already while we were at the store. And then I got some Poppy. Again, sorry if you hear my daughter in the back. She's being noisy. Just trying to do less soda. And I like these flavors. We've got, okay, I've also never had these. So I like golden kiwi way better than green kiwi. It's super sweet and juicy. But they had this ruby red kiwi. So I don't know. We'll see what it tastes like. It looks really good though. And my daughter's actually never had kiwi, so we're gonna try it out. Greens for salad. Also put these on burgers and sandwiches. And a whole bag of apples. Every toddler mom in the world knows that they have this weird obsession with apples. So we always have apples in the house now. And then, okay, so we buy this. It's already open because my daughter drank 2 of them. This is like the off-brand of Yakult. I do not like them. They're sour to me. It's a probiotic drink. So my husband, as I've mentioned before, he's Filipino, and apparently it's a big thing for them. They love these. All my nieces and nephews are obsessed. My daughter could drink them. If she could drink this instead of water, she would. So this whole pack is like $7 at Costco, which is a freaking steal because the pack of maybe you get 20, the name brand Yakults from Sam's Club are $13-ish. So yeah, we get these every time we go to Costco. And then we have a little Trader Joe's haul. It's not very much. So this week, what I really want to do is focus on dinner recipes. Maybe not so much recipes. Dinner meal ideas. My daughter is hitting the tripod with the mop. And so tonight I'm gonna make tilapia with rice, mango salsa, and then some kind of greens. And so I need to get some stuff from Trader Joe's that I don't want in Costco size haul. So for the salsa, cilantro, red peppers, mangoes. I think I got 4. Red onion, and lime. So this will all go in the salsa. I will show it later. I also picked up some more kimbap because it's so good and I thought it would be a good snack. And then my daughter wanted something in the store, so I just got these little like wafer cookies. I like these kinds of snacks because they're soft, and so I don't have to worry about her eating them and gagging because she tries to shove food in her mouth. And these are more melty. Mommy. Yes, baby. Hi. Hi. I love you. Daddy. Where's that? That's. What's that? Fish. Fish. You want apple? No. What do you want? Oh, say hi. Hi. I love you. So that is everything we got from Costco and Trader Joe's today. I'm going to put all of it away. I'm going to get us some lunch, and then I will be back for dinner. So, yeah. Hi. Hi.
So this mango salsa I have actually made quite a few times. It goes really good with any Hispanic dishes, mainly Mexican, and also anything with fish, typically white fish, but it's just such a good flavor profile. I start with about 4 mangoes, sometimes more if I just want a larger quantity. I want to make sure that they're ripe and have a lot of juicy flesh is the best way that I can put it. I cube the mangoes, and then we add 1 whole red pepper. Of course, you can add green pepper, yellow, or orange. I like red for the color, and I also don't like green peppers. We do 1 jalapeno. Always make sure you wear a glove. I learned that lesson the hard way many years ago. It will destroy your hand. Don't. We only do 1 jalapeno because my daughter can't handle spicy food, but if you want to kick up the heat, you can always add in as many jalapenos as you like. We add in tons of cilantro. Again, I just think that recipes when you're cooking, baking is really different, but with cooking you can kind of adjust them to what your needs and likes are. You don't have to add cilantro, but we add a ton. We add 1 whole lime and just juice it right into the mix. I'm gonna add a generous helping of salt as well. I kind of just mix everything all in there just to start getting the flavors mixed together. And then I go ahead and add in my onion. Those I also dice as small as I can. I just don't like the really large chunks when you're eating it. I'm gonna give everything a really good mix until it is all well combined. I typically make about 4 cups of rice at a time. We only ever buy jasmine, that's just the kind that we love. Please always rinse your rice multiple times before you cook it. That is the law. And this tilapia I actually bought at Aldi. It was my first time ever buying this particular one. All I did was defrost it out on the counter. I like to season both sides of my fish whenever I cook it, and this one I try to just keep pretty simple. I wanted the flavor really to focus on the salsa as opposed to just the fish. So we just did some Old Bay seasoning and then did cracked pepper and salt on both sides. Before I cook, I like to use this avocado spray in the pan. Just do a quick spray just to get it coated. I use Teflon, but it just keeps it so that it doesn't stick as much. And while it's cooking, I put some parsley also on both sides as well. And I used my other lime to just give it a quick squeeze on the fish. I also check the temperature as I cook. I am very particular about making sure it's cooked all the way through. And this is actually what it looked like. We actually ended up taking this to the hospital. My sister-in-law was there. And so I did try to take a video and it got messed up somehow, but this was the final product of what that meal ended up looking like. This meal is a staple for me. I am using salmon burgers. This was actually my first time trying them. Another thing that I got from Aldi. They just opened up where I live. But I made the base of the bowl with a ton of greens, jasmine rice. Whenever we make rice, I bulk make it so that we can throw it into everything. Cooked a salmon burger, went ahead and chopped up some cucumbers, and then you'll see that I'm going to add in avocados as well, and then we're going to use this really good dressing from Trader Joe's. It's my first time ever having this one, and it's so good. I've been putting it on everything. But this is basically just like a Buddha bowl with like a protein, a fat, a carb, a green. Really, really easy to put together, super delicious, and you kind of hit all your macros, and you can always adjust it to either what you're craving, what you're in the mood for, what you need to hit your goals that day. And so this one's really simple and was very delicious. This recipe is probably one of my favorite things to make. It's one of my family's favorite things to eat. I actually made it for my church worship group and they were obsessed. It's really simple. I like to use any chicken that needs to get used up quickly. So anything I have in the fridge or even rotisserie chicken. So you're just going to start out by chopping anything that you think would go good with a taquito. So for me, it's usually garlic, onions, peppers. I use the minced garlic. You can always use fresh. This one's just when I'm trying to make it faster so that I can get food out onto the table. So you're going to put oil in the pan. You're going to add your garlic in. Just let that start cooking. Let the aroma, as soon as you can smell the aroma. And then you're going to add in your onions and your peppers. And just season it with salt and pepper. Don't go crazy with the seasonings until you start adding in the rest of the food. And then that, you're just going to let it sweat for a little while. And then you can prepare the chicken if you need to debone. And that's what I needed to do. So here I wanted to use up the rotisserie chicken that I had gotten from Costco. And so I just debone the whole thing, get all the really good meat parts. I don't use a lot of the skin. I don't really want that in this recipe. And with the chicken parts, all I do is keep the bones, I keep the skin, I keep the joints, all the other stuff. And then as soon as I'm finished deboning it, I go ahead and get a big Tupperware. I put all the leftover chicken in there so that I can use it for a stock, which I actually did end up making later in the week. And so that way nothing gets wasted and we use all of it. And this is about the size of the Tupperware I normally use. The rotisserie chickens are not super huge. And then when you make taquitos, you have to make sure that your chicken is pretty shredded. So I have these like bear claw shredders. I got them from Walmart. And so I just shredded them a little bit more to make them easier when I actually do the filling for the taquitos. So now we have our garlic, peppers, and onions are cooking pretty well. I needed to use up this lime juice, so you can add lime in there. and just go ahead and throw the chicken right into the pan. Go ahead and let it warm up a little bit. I like to get it stirred in before I start adding in all the seasonings. And then I just take a ton of the taco seasoning mix. I mean, this is the first one that I'm putting in. I mix it in. I usually do a taste test, little salt and pepper here and there, and then I go ahead and add in more of the taco seasoning mix. I don't think that you can be too heavy-handed with taco mix. I don't know, maybe it's just me. And then once that's all finished, it's taste to your liking. Go ahead and add in whatever cheese you have on hand, because you can use Fiesta mix, you can use cheddar, you can use mozzarella. I needed to use up mozzarella, so that's what I went ahead and threw into the pan. Wait for it to melt all the way through. You want it to be kind of stringy, and then that way it's a little bit easier to load into the tortillas. Before you load your tortillas, you want to make sure that you heat them all the way through, especially with corn. They will rip and tear if you don't. I just spray the pan with oil to give them a nice coating. They're a little bit easier to work with. Plus, I don't know, I just feel like it adds to the flavor. So I heat my tortillas, I hold them in tin foil just to keep them warm. And what you'll do is you take one tortilla at a time, just gonna load your filling in there. And you don't want to overfill it or else they're not gonna roll or they will rip. And you're just gonna roll them tightly, just like that. Make sure the filling doesn't fall out. And as you can see, I kind of forgot here, before you put the tortillas onto your pan, you're gonna want to spray with oil just so they don't stick. With the cheese, they will stick if it runs out. And we're gonna speed through. This is what it's gonna look like. This part is the longest part of the taquitos. It's just rolling and filling them. But overall, this recipe is really, really easy.
Okay.
I'm gonna take our air fryer. I put it at 20 minutes. It actually ended up not cooking that long. You want it at 400 degrees. I have baked it. The air fryer makes it really crispy like an actual taquito, so it's a lot better when you air fry it. In my plate, I always like to do a ton of greens. I read this book a really long time ago that said, if you can make a meal as healthy as possible or healthier than it already is, do that. So as I'm trying to lose weight, that's really what I've been focusing on, just adding in a lot of greens and volume food. So I did greens, I'm doing avocado just to get in a little salad with my taquitos, or else I'll eat like 100 because they're delicious. Drop the whole avocado into the bowl. It's fine. Here you can see that it only ended up cooking for about 10 minutes and it came out perfect. So you want it to be that crispy on some of them, that nice golden brown. I think I ended up eating 3, maybe 4. I don't quite remember.
Cool, babe. Is it done?
Mm-hmm.
You can have like 14 of them.
As you can hear, my husband is obsessed with these. He loves when I make them. He is not a fan of the greens, so we just load his plate with as many as he wants. I think one time I made these and he ended up eating like 8 or 9, which is really crazy because they're actually pretty big. But I just gave him, I think, 5 or 6 of those. And so here's my plate with 2. Oh, okay, I thought I had 3. And then a salad. And then my husband, who has, it looks like 6 on his plate. And we actually ended up eating this pineapple as well, which we got from Costco. And it's super ripe, delicious, and juicy right now.
Okay, so it is Sunday night. I am craving something sweet and something hydrating for dinner. My husband said he's not hungry. He ate with some friends earlier because I was gonna make steak, but I think I'm gonna make a smoothie bowl instead. Once it starts to get really hot, I start to crave lots of fruit, frozen things. So I think that's what we're gonna make.